Welcome to another edition of Lakeville's City Council Wrap-Up. During this program, we will highlight the agenda items presented to the Lakeville City Council at their May 19th, 2014 meeting. First highlighted item on the agenda is item number 5A, Police Department Annual Report. And to give the information regarding this agenda item is Chief of Police Jeff Long.
I'm going to start out with the core law enforcement function. Our primary function is to respond to the citizens and the calls that they have. I'm going to try not to bore you too much, but you will see in the upper right-hand corner a graph or a chart that shows the CAD incidents or the computer-generated incidents that we have responded to over the past few years. The trends on that chart that you just saw will show that the medical emergencies are going up, alarm numbers are going up, we're having fewer suspicion calls, but more damage to property. Those two go hand in hand. The more calls we get, the fewer, less crime calls that we have. And finally, our calls received at the office are down also. And I credit that to something that's going on statewide, and that's that information is becoming available on our websites, Facebook, crime mapping, and Twitter. People have other places to go to get the information that they need. Again, trying not to bore you, our Part 1 and Part 2 crime totals will show that we have a decrease, which is a good thing. However, what's important to point out with many of these crimes is that the numbers are altered by only a handful of calls. For instance, if you look under Part 1 crimes, you'll see that our rape numbers went in 2012 from 9 to 2013, 1, which shows a significant drop. The reality is that those type of numbers are going to bounce around year to year. Moving down one step, the robbery numbers go from 1 to 5, which shows an increase of 400%. So I try not to get too hung up on these crime numbers. We do like to see the downward direction, but we do have to look at the reality of what these numbers are showing. Essentially, crime is holding steady. The challenges that are created are not necessarily the crime numbers, but it's the type of crime that is occurring. And some of the things that we're beginning to see in law enforcement that are challenging us and began to challenge us prior to 2013, but we're still seeing, are calls relating to assaults, weapons, family and children issues, DUIs, mental health calls, and a significant increase in traffic. In the year 2013, a number of awards were giving out to a variety of our officers. Most importantly, you'll see at the top is when we save people's lives. Those are great awards that were handed out by Chief Von Hoff. A Medal of Commendation was awarded to Sergeant Jason Polinsky for his work in the schools relating to active shooter scenarios. Officer Adam Steyer, that recently departed from Bloomington, received the Outstanding Service Award and DWI All-Star Award. And finally, Detective Kelly Coughlin completed the BCA Law Enforcement Management Program. Our K-9 program continued to stay active. Tank is assigned to Officer Loeffler, is from Winnipeg. Zeus, assigned to Officer Jensen, is from Slovakia. Their primary responsibilities include tracking, criminal apprehension, evidence, search and recovery, building searches, and handler protection. They're also cross-trained as narcotics detector dogs. Speaking of narcotics, our third dog is Marley. Marley is assigned to the Drug Task Force team lead, which is Jeff Hansen. He's certified by the U.S. Police K-9 Association. He was deployed 175 times in 2013 and assisted with the seizure of nearly $100,000. It's a proud dog sitting in the corner. The Public Safety Chaplaincy program continued to expand. They primarily, you see the roles posted up there, but providing comfort at death scenes and death notifications, assisting employees with employee wellness. They serve as liaisons between the community, the department, and the department, I should say. And they've expanded to include fire and police. We're no longer just police, chaplaincy, we're public safety. And we have 5 volunteers currently. Our reserve officer unit is made up of 20 volunteers. We had 8 new members in 2013, donating over 4,700 hours. Reserve Officer of the Year was Bill Constantine. Crime prevention continued to be a big part of our department. We offer many free prevention services and programs relating to personal safety, workplace violence, drug and alcohol awareness, and the very popular Night to Night. Crime prevention is also in charge of the award-winning LPD Journal Show and helps track our Facebook page. In 2013, we focused heavily on the active shooter response and training. We've been trained in a program called 3 Echo, which is a way we respond to our calls. We've trained our officers, firefighters, medics in neighboring jurisdictions. We've worked in cooperation with the school district to train all district employees. We held sessions at Lakeville North and Lakeville South high schools, and we're keeping up with emerging developments related to safety. And to the right is Sergeant Polinsky that put on these presentations, and then one of the scenarios is right below that. Our digital forensic unit is in year 2 of 3 in its rollout. That's a picture of the lab to the right. Our detective assigned to that program worked 835 hours on 91 devices. We're one of the few agencies in the state that actively investigates the production and distribution of child pornography. There's a misnomer thinking that all police agencies do that, and we're actually one of the few that actively pursues it. Our traffic unit wrote 587 citations, had 1,800 calls for service. They self-initiated over 1,600 incidents and made 58 arrests. I don't know why I put that picture in there. I just thought it was cute with the horses running down the roadway. I don't know how many communities have that. Our street crimes unit is a 2-person team. They help bridge the gap between our drug task force patrol and investigations. They made 90 arrests. They average about 2.5 search warrants a month following weeks of follow-up investigation. And each one of those search warrants ended up with a criminal charge. The Dakota County Multi-Agency Assistance Group, MAG, or SWAT. We have 4 officers on the team. 1 is a sniper, 2 tactical operators, and 1 explosive breacher. They had 14 call-outs, and the Bearcat armored vehicle was used 4 times in our city. The Dakota County Drug Task Force is made up of 15 full-time officers and 1 part-time officer. It has 11 Dakota County cities plus Savage. Covers 627 square miles, 425,000 people. They average about 700 arrests a year, which includes Marley, which was put into action in the spring of 2013. 2013, we also started the drug drop-off program, which was very successful. Some interesting statistics show that 100 people die each day from drug overdoses, and those rates have tripled since 1990. Overdoses now kill more people than auto accidents. Most abusers are obtaining their prescription meds from somebody they know. When our site became active, we collected over 309 pounds of medication for disposal. And at the end of the year, Chief Tom Von Hoff retired. And I know you're all here for that. So I will stand for questions.
Next highlighted item on the agenda is item number 5C, Parks and Recreation Department Monthly Report. And to provide the background information on this agenda item is Park and Recreation Director Brett Altergott.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. This is the April monthly report for Parks and Recreation. Starting off at the Arts Center, the Expressions Community Theater performed the Dixie Swim Club over the course of 2 weekends and had over 800 people attend those performances. So that was 6 shows, 2 weekends. Also at the Arts Center was a special month for the coffee concert. The Bakken Trio was the main act, but they brought in 2 international acts with them, which is Wilhelmina Smith and Corey Conkle. They're very accomplished artists, so the 80 that did attend got one heck of a show, and it was great to see. They weren't in the playbill, they were a late addition, but again, it was great to see. For the month of April, we had over 2,000 people attend the Arts Center in what would be considered kind of one of our slower months. On the park maintenance side, it was a very busy month. It started out with snow on the ground, lots of rain, and what you see in the photos is we had a very short period of time before the athletic season started up to get the fields laid out, to get them striped, get the field and the diamonds dragged. Staff was able to do that, and over the course of about a week, they laid out every one of our athletic fields. We started with baseball, moved into soccer and lacrosse, and they did a phenomenal job during that time. Again, usually they have about 2 weeks to do it. We had to do it in a week this year, and they were able to accomplish that. Also, at the end of the month, which turned out to be a very busy day on April 26th, we had the annual tree and shrub sale, the pickup at the central maintenance facility. And in the photos there, what you see is the day before when the trees are dropped off. The parks crew does bag them. They are bare root. They get them all prepared, separated by species. And then the next day, the residents come through, and it's a drive-through. And we have many volunteers, of which I know that Councilmember Davis helped out that morning. It was great. We had all the trees distributed in about a little over an hour. And this year we sold 266 trees. On the recreation side, we had the Easter egg scramble, which we had over 100 attend. That's where they have the breakfast in 2 shifts over at the Heritage Center. And then we work with the DLBA and the local businesses for the egg hunt. The participants, when they attend the egg scramble, get a map, and then they go to the downtown businesses to get their egg. Also, we had the Family Fun Fest that was in the afternoon of April 26th. We had over 1,200 attend that, and that was at the Ames Arena. A lot of fun and games and activities, programs, the contractual programs were out there. And with that, we concluded that by showing Monsters University on the turf. And we're also proud to say that our Tawny Tot turf soccer got off, and we filled that with 50 kids. At the Heritage Center, you can see in the photos, a new program was machine sewing, and you can see them proudly displaying some of their work there. And then we have a number of different clubs. We have a bicycle club, a golf club, a motorcycle club, and these groups will have their meetings. And in the photo here, you see the men's golf club with their organizational meeting. It's the largest the golf club has been in the past 5 years. Also on the membership side, membership renewal is underway. We have 39 new members during the month of April, and our total membership currently stands at 1,097 at the end of April. That's new and renewed. Also in April, we had the Volunteer Appreciation Luncheon, which some of you did attend. We had over 100 of our volunteers, but if you remember, we have about 250 plus volunteers in a given year. So to have over 100, I believe it was like 125 of the volunteers showed up, and we were able to have lunch with them and thank them for all their service. And then we also had the Belgian Waffle Breakfast, and that was on April 27th. We raised approximately $3,700, and we sold 651 tickets. Continuing, if you remember, one of the other fundraisers that we did was a flower fundraiser with Paul's Market. That was successful. We received 10% of the purchases that were made during that time. However, knowing that a lot of people haven't planted their flowers yet, the coupon on the screen that is available on the website, if you were to print that off and bring that in, between May 12th and June 2nd, we'll receive 10% of any purchases made by shoppers who fill out this coupon. So that again is available on our website, is available at the Heritage Center or through the Parks and Rec Department. So anyone going out, if you're going to buy flowers anyway, you can help out, and that all goes towards paying back the loan, the bridge loan from the city. Upcoming, we're currently taking registrations for all summer programs and camps, and getting our summer and seasonal staff trained. One thing additional I'd like to add this evening is we are monitoring the lake level, the water level on Lake Marion. It is currently, as of today, at about the ordinary high water mark, which means very shortly we could be at the no wake. If the weather pattern continues, the lake will continue to rise. We are going to monitor this on a daily basis, but to assist the Lake Marion residents, sandbags will be available for pickup tomorrow at the Central Maintenance Facility by noon for those who wish to sandbag the shoreline. So again, we are going to monitor this daily until the levels start to recede. And of course, after any major rain event, we will monitor the lake throughout the summer. And with that, I will take any questions.
Next highlighted item on the agenda is item number 8, resolution approving the acquisition of property from Lakeville Land Limited for a future municipal liquor store. And to provide the background information for this agenda item is Community and Economic Development Director Dave Olson.
Mayor and members of the council, I'm presenting this item tonight on behalf of Brenda Visnovic, who is out of town at a conference today. This is an item I believe that's been discussed by council, at least through the liquor committee process. I'll acknowledge that I was involved in the very early discussions of this, but was not involved in the negotiation process and drafting of the purchase agreement. I am familiar with it, and and Roger's here, and his office was very much involved with the process. So hopefully we can answer any questions to the extent possible by the council. Before you is a purchase agreement for the acquisition of property located at, and for those of you who are, and I think everybody is, this is the intersection of I-35 and County Road 70. The new Walmart store sits right here, just to the north of the site. The Lakeville Theater sits a little bit north and to the west. And the property in question are the two lots that are adjacent to Harry's Restaurant next to the Walmart site. I will point out, and I think councils recall, city recently issued a building permit for a new SA, a gas convenience store, on the lot immediately south to the two properties in question. The lots total 4.52 acres between the two, and the negotiated proposed purchase price for the property is $1,967,490. There's history, and I won't go a lot into, and if Ms. Bissenbeck was here, she could speak to it a lot better than I, but there was a period of time where the city operated 4 liquor store locations, and in 2000, the city closed one of those stores, which was the leased location at Highway 50 at 175th Street. Ms. Bissenbeck lists some of the sales figures and square foot in comparison to the square footage of the stores that we currently own or lease, and identify that based on continued estimated growth in sales, that there will be a point where additional store space is needed. The questions that I thought Mr. Bissenbeck did a nice job of addressing on the backup or the second page to the council cover memo, and I'll talk about a couple of those issues and then certainly open it up for questions, and I know there are some, is when would the site be built? And I'll switch, Jim, if we could, to the proposed site plan. My understanding is the discussions to date have indicated a store construction date of approximately 2 to 5 years from now. However, staff is, and I am involved in, and I'm familiar with all the projects that have come in, and I will say that there are interest in at least one other project that hasn't even been brought forward to the council yet because it's in the very early stages, but there is discussion going on for another commercial use out in this area, not necessarily on this site, but in very close proximity. So I think it was the concern that even though the store might not be needed for 2 to 5 years, if we waited that long to attempt to secure a site, there may not be a site available at this location. Hence the recommendation to bring forward a purchase agreement at this time. The discussion was, and I think this took place at the Liquor Committee, as to the recommendation to buy the two adjoining lots as opposed to just one. And Lot 1, the smaller lot to the south, is sufficient in size to build the store on. However, there's some economy of scales and some benefit that can be gained by acquiring both of the lots, and basically, and I'll put the other one back up for just a second, by adjusting the lot lines and what the city would need, basically, and these were lot lines that were platted over 20 years ago, but basically reconfiguring and squaring off the lots a little bit more so that the remnant piece is not the 1.18 acres, but rather almost 2 acres in site. It allows us to grade and design ponding for both sites. It also allows us to identify and construct a joint shared access that these two parcels are going to have to share an access, and by configuring the site that we need and locating the driveway and the new lot lines, it just suits that, prepares that site for future development and future sale. And then it gives the city the opportunity to have at least a little bit of control in terms of a complementary use being developed on what would then be a pad-ready site next to them, next to the city's facilities. So In summary, that's the purchase agreement, and you have language. I know there's some questions, and rather than bring those up in advance, I guess I'll let council members bring them up in terms of some of the language of the current purchase agreement. But this is what's before. I think the important dates to note is that there's a due diligence period identified in the purchase agreement that runs through July 7th, and then a proposed closing date to occur on or before September 5th of this year.
Item number 8 was approved by the Lakeville City Council. Well, those were the highlighted items presented to the council at their May 19th, 2014 meeting. If you have any questions or comments regarding these agenda items, please feel free to call City Hall. The number is 952-985-4400. Thanks for watching this edition of Lakeville City Council Wrap-Up. During Minnesota's storm season, sirens in Dakota County will warn residents about severe weather. Dispatchers at the Dakota Communication Center can activate these sirens if there's a severe thunderstorm or tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service, or if a law enforcement officer advises activating the system. When you hear the siren, do not hesitate. Move to a place of shelter immediately. Move quickly when sirens sound.